Welcome to another video and to another organ. Today I'm back in Kirkby Stephen in Cumbria to look at this pretty impressive 2-manual tracker action pipe organ. As always, firstly, if you haven't been to this channel before, my name's Paul and I visit pipe organs all over the place, wherever I can get in. So if you haven't yet subscribed, I'd be so grateful if you would hit the subscribe button, you know where it is, and join me on these visits. It really helps to promote these videos and I appreciate that. But without further ado, let's have a look at this lovely organ. So of course I have been to Kirkby Stephen before on this channel. That was to visit the really large 3-manual pipe organ at the parish church, which is just along the road from here. But today I've had the opportunity to come here to the Methodist church to look at this lovely 1900 Wilkinson and Son pipe organ. So Wilkinson and Son were based in Kendal, which is South Cumbria. I don't think they exist anymore, but there are lots and lots of Wilkinson organs in this area. I think I've only visited one of these before on the channel, and that was at Appleby Parish Church, although I don't think that was Wilkinson. I think it had been restored by Wilkinson, so I could say that this is the first original Wilkinson that I visited, and I'm really excited to have a go at this organ. I'm not sure who maintains this organ these days, but there are some old tuning books which are signed by Harrison and Harrison, so at some point they tuned the organ. I don't know who tunes it these days, but going back to its history, this organ was built in 1900 and it was funded and built by a gentleman from Kirkby Stephen who emigrated to Australia and left this organ as a donation. Later on in 1928, sorry, I'm using my old memory, 1928, this organ was completely restored by Jardine organs. Jardine organs still exist and they are based in Manchester, so not a million miles from here, and there's also a lot of Jardine work here in Cumbria as well. At that point, I believe the organ was restored and there was an awful lot of work done to the stops. They were revoiced, repositioned, and I think at that point these angle jams were added. And later on, again using my old memory, I think it was 1959, the organ was restored again by Jardine organ builders, again of Manchester. And from that year onwards, I don't think there's been any major work carried out at all. It does feel quite rickety in that the action feels rattly. It does feel relatively in tune. But we're going to have a look at the stops and see what they sound like, which is what I always do. So I'm going to start here on the grate. The stops are here on the right and it is the bottom manual. Again, this is tracker action. Let's have a look. So the very first stop on the grate at the very bottom is a contra flute. It is a 16-foot. I have tried this briefly before I started the video and discovered that a lot of the stops, or a lot of the notes, should I say, are off. So I'm not sure what that's all about, whether the pipes have been removed or whether it's a fault or whether, I'm not sure what it is, but it's pretty unusable. So unfortunately that 16-foot contra flute isn't there. So the first stop that does work is an 8-foot open diapason, which sounds like this. was advised in a comment on one of the videos recently not to say that it's cold, because it's very obvious because of I'm wearing a big winter coat. But that's my excuse today, that I can't play the notes properly, and I'm sticking to it. That was the open diapason. Next is another 8 foot, it's a string and it is a viola. Nice. And next we have a flute. It's also 8 foot. It's a clarabelle flute. Nice. Sounds quite stringy for a flute actually, but it's very nice. Next we have a 4 foot and it is the principal. Let's try that with the open. Very bright, very loud, and the acoustics in this building are fantastic, as they always are in these traditional Methodist chapels. Next we have a 4 foot flute on its own. That's a lovely bright flute. That is so nice. Let's try that with the 8 foot clarabelle flute. I still think that clarabelle flute has a bit of a stringy tone to it, but it sounds really nice. The final 2 stops are both 2 foots. The first is a flautina. A couple of notes off there. I think, if I remember rightly, when I looked at the National Pipe Organ Register, that flautina used to be on the swell. Obviously it's now on the grate, but we'll get into that. And the final stop on the grate is the 2 foot 15th. Always lovely to see. Let's try that against the flautina. Doesn't make much difference. And of course with the principal. And the open. Not sure what I was playing there, but you can hear what it sounds like. So that sounds really nice, really powerful. Obviously I'm sat here right in front of the pipework, so it's right in my face. But again, the acoustics in this building are fantastic. Let's try something on the grate. obviously just the grate on its own, and it really has some power. I really like that. It would be nice to have a reed on there. It would also be nice, you never thought you'd hear me say this, but it would be nice if that 16 foot worked as well. But other than that, a really powerful organ. So while we're here on the right, we're going to have a quick look at the pedals. Let's have a look. Okay, so just to start with, the pedal board is a straight flat pedal board. Obviously very original. There are 4 combination pedals, obviously 2 for the grate and 2 for the swell. There is a centralized balanced swell pedal, which, as I've mentioned before, is very, very high. Difficult to reach. Probably easier if you're used to it, but there we go. It has a centralized balanced swell pedal, and there are 2 stops on the grate. The first is an open base. It is a 16 foot, and actually you can see these pipes around the back. That has some power. Nice. And we have a 16 foot boarding. And together. Whoa. Right, those pedals on their own are really, really powerful. I very much like them. So let's move on to the swell, which is the top manual. Stops are here on the left. Let's have a look. So again, the first stop on the swell is an 8 foot open diapason. Let's shut the box. Very effective. Nice. Next we have a viol de orchestra, which is obviously a string on its own. It's an 8 foot. Lovely. Unfortunately, there isn't a Celeste to go with that. That would really be the icing on the cake on this organ, but we don't have one. It's just a pipe dream again. We have a Gedakt. It's an 8 foot. Nice. For me, that's the nicest stop so far. That is a lovely tone. Lovely. Next we have a gems horn, or a gems horn, however you choose to pronounce it, and it's a 4 foot. Try that with the string, the viol de orchestra. Nice. Next we have a 15th, which is obviously a 2 foot and very clearly a newer stop head to the rest. And this takes me back to the Flortina, which is on the grate now. I believe the Flortina was originally on the swell. Let's just try the 15th. So nice and bright. I don't quite understand why they were switched over, other than possibly the next stop, which is a 2-rank mixture. Which is a little bit out of tune. So if that's a 3-rank mixture, I'm not sure what it's made of. But if we had the 15th, kind of turns into a 3-rank. That's the only reason I can think that that's been switched over, to create a 3-rank rather than a 2-rank. If you have any other ideas, I would be grateful if you drop it down in the comments. I think there's information on the National Pipe Organ Register. I can't see it because it's not in front of me. Comments please. And the final stop on the swell is the one and only reed on this organ. It's a Conopian. Wow. Just the way it feels, and I could be very, very wrong here, but that top manual doesn't feel tracker to me. It's a different touch altogether. I don't know whether that could be tubular, but that wouldn't make sense unless it's been changed at some point. But it feels different. It's got a slight delay on some of the notes, which you would only really expect. That's kind of guesswork really. I'm not sure, it just doesn't feel the same or respond the same, which suggests it may be a different, I don't know, just guesswork. And final stop on the swell is a tremulant. I can hear it going. Let's try the open. So I can hear that tremulant moving, but I don't think it's very effective. I can definitely hear it going, but it doesn't seem to have any effect on the stops whatsoever, so we can assume that there's a fault there and that needs adjusting. Not a loss for me, as you know, because I'm not a fan of tremulants. But there we go. Just also, while we're here on the left, there are the 3 standard couplers. We have the grate to pedal, swell to pedal, and the swell to grate. But let's try something on the swell, see what it sounds like. Let's have a go. overall, I think this is a really nice organ. It looks lovely with this decorated pipework. It's a lovely church, fantastic acoustics. I'm sure a choir would sound remarkable in this building. I'm really curious about this potential change in action on the swell, because it certainly feels different. The rest of it is certainly tracker. I can't give you an answer to that. Maybe you have some suggestions, and you can leave them in the comments and I'd be grateful. Or there might be more information on the National Pipe Organ Register, which again I can't see. But let's have a go on the full organ on a rousing hymn and see what it sounds like. Let's have a go. So yes, overall this is a really nice organ. To be fair, it does need quite a lot of work doing to it. The action needs adjusting. It could do with a bit of a tune. I don't know whether that's down to the fact that it's so cold. But a really nice organ in a really nice church, and the acoustics again are fantastic. So it's really nice to be here to look at a Wilkinson organ. I was really excited to come and see this, and I'm not disappointed. A big thank you to Margaret and to Andy, who have helped me arrange this visit. I am so grateful. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed already, I'd be so grateful if you would hit that subscribe button. It really helps to promote the videos. And until next time, I shall see you later. Bye for now.